This is the notation playback rhythm editor, and I'm going to show you how it works. You can put a name in here when you enter a new rhythm, like that. And you have to be a logged in member in order to save any rhythms you make here. But if you just use it, you can use all the features but without saving it if you're not a member. So if you select private here, it means that only you can see the rhythm that you enter, and if you mark the public notation option, that means that it will be available for everyone to see, and other people may copy the rhythm to their own collection if they're members, but they won't be able to edit or delete any of your original notation of this rhythm. So only you can edit it regardless of how you select here. But I'll make this private for now because I don't want to share it with anyone right now. All right, let's move down. We have the parts menu where you choose whether it's a djembe part, bass part, bell part, or signal. You can also use breaks and solo parts as a signal just to separate them from the ordinary djembe parts. If you choose djembe part, you will have the djembe notes on the notation line, and you will hear them as you click. You toggle the notes, and if you want further djembe notes, you just click here, and you will be able to have flams, rolls, and muffled strokes. If you don't want it and just want the basic ones, you just do it this way. You can choose silent insert if you don't want to hear the sound for some reason late at night. And I prefer to hear it, so I'll select it like that. If you have many djembe parts, you can select which number each should have. You can call this number 1, and you may have versions of the same part, and you can call this version number 1. Or you can just deselect this if you don't want to use these possibilities. Now, before you start putting the notation in, you might want to select what kind of rhythm it is, if it's a 6-pulse or if it's an 8-pulse rhythm. You can also select the more unusual 9, and this is just an option for any other notation that is not traditional: 5 paradiddles and 7 just for the possibility to make your own rhythms. Alright, I'll select 6 here, and I'll start putting some notes in. And as you can see, as soon as I enter any notes here, the handing edit will alert me that there is no note. If I click here, I will be alerted if I have the same hand used without a rest in between. So now it's accepted. The handing will be saved whether or not there are any alerts. If you for some reason want to save it like this, you can, but you're alerted that this is not playable in a reasonable manner. Okay, I'll just finish the notation line here. You will probably made an error there. You will probably start recognizing this very common part, and if I don't want to put in my own notation, but I want to see what kind of notation would work for this part, I can use the handing menu to choose ghost handing, which means that all the odd numbers will be played with the same hand, and the even numbers will be played with the other hand. If I prefer the alternate handing, it will be one hand, the other hand, one hand, the other hand, alternately. And if I want to make my own handing, I can do so by changing it in this field. Now, if I go back to the alternate handing, if I change the note, if I just put this away, the handing will automatically change to whatever is on the notation line. I put the bass back in and the slap back in. So I want to have the alternate handing in my field, handing field, so I'll just save it like this. Now I can play the part, and as you can see, the shade will follow the very note that is being played at the time. You can speed it up incrementally. You can see here what BPM rate, beats per minute, it is, and you can play it ridiculously fast, and you can slow it down to use maybe learning tempo, so you can really get it, and you can reset it at any time to the default 60 BPM, which is a reasonable speed to listen to it. Now you might want to hear the in-between sound, which is the ghost handing sound, and if you want that, you can just click this box and you will hear the little tapping sound in between, and this will also change the shadow to mark each figure that it's passing. You can see here what number it is playing at the time, from 1 to 12. Now of course the notation line is never more than 9 to keep it counting to 6 twice. Alright, now this part starts on the 1 with the bass, but let's say it's lead-in start on the last note. You just click here to insert a lead-in note, which is an asterisk, and this will make the notation start from this note, and when you play it you can see that it's just what it does. So it no longer starts from the 1, it starts from the 5 here. And if you want to change the leading note, maybe to this one, it will just move. And if you don't want it, you just click it again and you get rid of it. It toggles. And so with the notation handing, you toggle between the one hand and the other hand. Alright, now this part was just one line, but it might have been a longer part covering 2 lines, and then this would be the first line out of 2. If you're notating a long solo phrase, you might need as much as 6 rows, and that would mean this would be line 1 out of 6. if it's not a multi-line part, you should never use this. It's just the one line. You can put in remarks. I'll just uncheck this one. You can put in remarks about the rhythm, and I use this line to enter some simple like nursery rhymes to remember the rhythm. When you first start learning a rhythm, you might want to have something to make it easier to remember, and I have already put in a line here. Let's use this one, and I'll sing it as I play. I'm gonna play for you today. I'm gonna play for you today. It's a simple way of remembering a rhythm. When somebody asks you what is kakelambe sound like, well, it's, you know, I'm gonna play for you today. I'm gonna play for you today. And the good thing is that the space in between here will be kept when you print it or when you look at it on the rhythm page. So you can enter the text right under the note that you want it to be under, and it will keep that way. The source line is a place where you can enter any information about how you got to learn the rhythm, from whom, or what it originates from. These are just hints of how you can use those two fields, comments fields, and of course you can use them for any information you want. These are just hints. Now, if you want to save this rhythm, you just click here, and you will be alerted if you haven't put your password in the password field when you copy, save, or delete. And you just enter your password. It might be as long as 10 characters, and then you can save it. In order to finish here, you close this editor window just by closing the whole window. This is Firefox browser, and it opens a floating window like this very nicely. Other browsers are not as flexible, so they will just open a full window in another folder, or just a full window that won't be sizable. Okay, so when I close it, I just get back to my original page, the Djembe Notation Exchange Team page with the rhythm, and I have clicked this to open the Playback rhythm editor, and I'll just show you what happens. Yes, so this is what happens when you use it in Firefox, and you can close it to get back to the underlying page. That's all.